All right, speaking of, being in shape and working out, Duke Castiglione, he just loves doing, all this fitness stuff.
He's addicted to it. It's almost a problem. Duke, welcome back. Duke actually sat down with, I guess, the strongest man in the world, arguably, Mr. Olympia.
Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler, four-time winner, four-time Mr. Olympia. And Jay was in town. He actually, I met him right after he was on the Elvis Duran show.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so we actually went to a New York sports club here on the Upper East Side.
And that's him.
Jay Cutler, Mr.
Oh,
Olympia.
my goodness. He's really cut.
He's got the mass.
Yeah, real good guy. But, Jay is going to be 41 in August. I just turned 41. So we talked about training smarter as you get older and how you change your training routine. Because let's face it, we can't do a lot of the same things we did when we were younger. So take a look.
Same thing, okay? Back, kick back, lock the tricep out. Good.
How long do you hold it up there?
I just, basically, not really much of a hold.
When it comes to weight training and sculpting the human body, there aren't many better than Jay Cutler.
Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler!
And the four-time Mr. Olympia winner was recently in New York and was kind enough to share some training tips with us.
So Jay, like myself, you're about to approach 41 years old. How have you changed your training? What's different now?
You know what? I've become a lot smarter. I mean, I think when you're younger, you think you're indestructible, and I think sometimes we train like that. But I think now I have to kind of be a little more careful about, obviously, the weights I use and the form that I use.
And for Jay, one of the most popular bodybuilders in the sport, appearing on countless magazine covers and traveling all over the world guest posing and giving advice, it's not just form he stresses, but something called the mind-muscle connection.
There's a connection. It's called the mind-to-muscle connection. So you have to actually, envision that muscle working. So let's say if you're doing a curl, I mean, it's pretty simple. There's only so many things you can do for a bicep. I mean, whether you preach a curl with the arms positioned in a lock position, or you're on a cable or a barbell, you really want to envision, like, in your head, okay, what's going to be beneficial for that muscle to get the most flexion and extension and the best way to pump them, because obviously we're trying to pump the muscle. That's what you want to get, that burn.
Jay suggests 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps on every exercise. But how many times a week should we be working out? Especially if, say, we're over 40 years old now.
I think the main thing that you need to focus on, obviously, is, you only need to 30 minutes to an hour a day in the gym, but the most important thing is the recovery process. Where you might be able to train, so many times a week or several times, a couple times a day. I think it has to be a little more restrictive. I think, maybe 5 days a week, max 4 days.
How important is diet, especially as we get older?
It's 80% of what we do. I mean, I can sit there and preach. I can preach, and you know what? The most important things is I put topic on. 6-meal a day diet is average for most people, and that means eating every 3 hours. And most people are awake those times of days. People think, they hear the number 6 and they say, I eat 3 times. But you really should be eating every 3 hours, and most people are awake that time, so 5 or 6 meals.
But Jay stresses those meals should be small, well-balanced meals. He also stresses the importance of a good night's sleep and a half hour of cardio 3 to 5 days a week. But more importantly, don't overtrain. Keep things in perspective.
I think as we get older, priorities shift. I mean, I know when I was competing in my early 30s, all I cared about was winning and being a bodybuilder and improving. Obviously, I consider myself an artist, building the physique. But, family things are more important now. I look and say, okay, well, these are things I wanted to do when I said I'd reach 40. So kind of training sometimes takes a back seat, where it still has to fit into the lifestyle, but you need to put your emphasis on more important things in your life and living your life.
How important is diet?
Wow.
Yeah, and Jay said men and women should train basically the same way. But, you heard him say it. It's 80% diet. And, it is 80%
Darn
diet.
it.
And the fun thing is he's such a wonderful guy. We're at the New York Sports Club, and he's very popular. And a lot of people were asked to come over and take pictures. So
Of course, his arms are incredible. Let's take a
pictures
look at this
with
guy.
Everybody.
Obviously, he's got to get all of his clothes custom made.
Yeah. You would imagine so. Everything custom made. So.
I mean, Duke, you're pretty built, but next to him, you look like you're a stick figure.
Yeah.
He's very impressive. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, real nice guy. We had a lot of fun shooting this story.